Have you ever worried that the fish you've been eating for years might actually be harming you instead of helping? That plate of seafood you thought was keeping your heart healthy could be hiding a dark secret no one's talking about. I've seen it firsthand with patients like Robert, 73, who was religiously eating fish 3 times a week, thinking he was doing everything right for his health. Then came his shocking cancer diagnosis. What his doctors never told him was that certain fish contain alarming levels of toxins that have been directly linked to cancer development in seniors. But here's the thing, not all fish are created equal. While some varieties can significantly increase your cancer risk, others have incredible cancer-fighting properties that could literally save your life. Today I'm going to reveal the truth about which fish belong on your plate and which should be avoided at all costs. This information could be the difference between prevention and a life-altering diagnosis. So please stay with me until the end, because what you'll learn today might just be the most important nutrition advice you'll ever receive. Hey there, I'm so glad you're joining me today for this critical conversation about fish and cancer risk in seniors. Before we dive deep into this life-changing information, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Drop your city and state in the comments below so I can get to know you better. If you have any questions as we go along, feel free to ask. I'm here to help. And if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss these potentially life-saving videos. Your health is my priority, and I'm committed to bringing you the most up-to-date information to help you live your best life. Let me start by talking about the fish that could be putting you at risk. Fish has long been touted as a health food, rich in protein and heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. For decades, doctors and nutritionists have encouraged us to eat more seafood, especially as we age. The American Heart Association even recommends eating fish at least twice a week. But what if some of these recommendations could actually be harmful for certain people, especially seniors whose immune systems may already be compromised? The truth is that not all fish are created equal when it comes to cancer risk. Some popular varieties that might be regular fixtures in your diet could be silently increasing your chances of developing cancer, particularly if you're over 65. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing and eliminating toxins, making seniors especially vulnerable to the cancer-causing compounds found in certain fish. Let's take a closer look at the 4 fish that have been linked to higher cancer risk, especially in older adults. First on our list is farmed Atlantic salmon. Now, I know this might come as a shock to many of you. Salmon is often praised as a superfood, rich in omega-3s and protein. But here's what you need to know about farmed salmon specifically. Unlike their wild counterparts, farmed salmon are raised in crowded pens where they're fed processed fish meal that often contains artificial coloring to give their flesh that appealing pink hue. A study published in the Journal of Environmental Health Perspectives found that farmed salmon contain significantly higher levels of PCBs, dioxins, and other industrial chemicals compared to wild salmon. These chemicals are known carcinogens that have been linked to various cancers including liver, pancreatic, and lymphoma. For seniors whose detoxification pathways are already less efficient, these toxins can accumulate in fatty tissues over time, potentially triggering cellular mutations that lead to cancer. A concerning statistic from the Environmental Working Group suggests that eating farmed salmon more than once a month could increase your cancer risk by up to 24% for people over 65. The problem is particularly concerning because these toxins are stored in the fat of the fish, and salmon is a fatty fish. The very thing we're told makes it healthy is exactly what makes it potentially dangerous when it comes from industrial farming operations. Does this mean you should avoid salmon altogether? Absolutely not. Wild-caught Alaskan salmon is still one of the healthiest proteins you can eat. The distinction between farmed and wild is crucial here. Wild salmon eat a natural diet and swim in open waters, resulting in significantly lower toxin levels. If you're buying salmon, always look for labels that specifically say wild-caught or Alaskan. It might cost a bit more, but when it comes to your health, especially cancer prevention, it's worth every penny. Have you been eating farmed salmon thinking it was healthy? You're not alone. Many of my patients are shocked when I tell them about this distinction. I need to pause here for a moment because there's something important I want to ask you. How has your relationship with seafood changed as you've gotten older? What concerns do you have about your diet and cancer risk? You know, many people feel confused and even betrayed when they learn that foods they thought were healthy might actually be harmful. It's completely normal to feel overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there. This journey of navigating health in our senior years can feel isolating, as if no one truly understands the anxiety that comes with trying to make the right choices while facing increased health risks. If you'd like to share your experience, you can simply copy "My biggest concern about fish and cancer is," and complete it with your thoughts. Even a few words can make a difference. Your comments not only help me create content that addresses your specific concerns, but they also create a supportive community where others can find comfort in knowing they're not alone in their struggles. Sometimes, just knowing that others share your worries can bring tremendous relief. Your voice matters, your experience matters, and together we can build a stronger community of informed and empowered seniors. The second fish on our cancer risk list is one that might surprise you: tilapia. This mild white fish has become incredibly popular in American households because it's affordable and has a non-fishy taste that appeals to many people who don't typically enjoy seafood. However, tilapia, particularly from certain farming operations, has been found to contain high levels of arachidonic acid, an omega-6 fatty acid that can promote inflammation in the body. Chronic inflammation is now recognized as a key factor in cancer development, especially in older adults. A study from Wake Forest University, published in the Journal of the American Dietetic Association, found that tilapia contains minimal beneficial omega-3s, but high levels of inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. For seniors already dealing with age-related inflammation, regularly consuming tilapia could potentially worsen this condition and create an internal environment where cancer cells are more likely to thrive. Additionally, many tilapia farming operations, particularly in some Asian countries, have been found to use antibiotics and pesticides that are banned in the United States due to their potential health risks, including links to cancer. These chemicals can accumulate in the fish and end up on your dinner plate. The journal Food and Chemical Toxicology published research showing that certain antibiotics used in tilapia farming can create compounds that damage DNA, potentially leading to cancerous mutations. For seniors whose cellular repair mechanisms are already less efficient, this presents an even greater risk. But the problems with tilapia don't end there. Many tilapia farms use growth hormones to make the fish grow faster and larger. Residues of these hormones can remain in the fish flesh and may disrupt your own hormone balance when consumed. Since hormone-sensitive cancers are among the most common in seniors, including breast, prostate, and certain types of thyroid cancer, regularly consuming tilapia could potentially contribute to hormonal imbalances that might increase cancer risk. If you're concerned about the quality of tilapia in your market, consider asking where it was sourced. Tilapia from the United States, Canada, or Ecuador tends to be raised with stricter standards than those from some other countries. Better yet, consider replacing tilapia in your diet with one of the cancer-fighting fish we'll discuss later in this video. The third fish that seniors should be cautious about is swordfish. This popular restaurant item and grocery store staple has been linked to increased cancer risk primarily due to its high mercury content. Mercury is a heavy metal that is particularly dangerous because once it enters the body, it can take years to eliminate. For seniors whose kidney function naturally declines with age, mercury elimination is even slower, allowing this toxic metal to accumulate in tissues and organs over time. The FDA and EPA have both issued warnings about swordfish consumption, particularly for vulnerable populations. While these warnings typically focus on pregnant women and young children, seniors with compromised immune systems or existing health conditions should be equally cautious. Mercury is a neurotoxin, but it's also been linked to DNA damage. That can lead to cancer. A study published in the International Journal of Cancer found associations between high mercury exposure and increased risk of liver cancer. Another concerning research paper in Environmental Health Perspectives demonstrated links between mercury exposure and multiple myeloma, a cancer of plasma cells that's more common in people over 65. Swordfish is especially problematic because it's a large predatory fish that lives for many years, allowing mercury to bioaccumulate. By the time a swordfish is caught and makes it to your plate, it may contain mercury levels up to 1 million times higher than the water it swam in. The American Cancer Society recommends limiting consumption of high-mercury fish, like swordfish, especially for individuals with risk factors for cancer. For seniors already taking multiple medications or dealing with chronic health conditions, the added burden of mercury from swordfish could potentially overwhelm the body's detoxification systems. When these systems can't keep up, cellular damage occurs, potentially setting the stage for cancer development. If you've been enjoying swordfish regularly, you don't need to panic. The effects of mercury are dose-dependent and cumulative. By reducing or eliminating your consumption now, you can help your body start to clear existing mercury and prevent additional exposure. Are you surprised to learn about the potential risks associated with swordfish? Many of my patients are, especially since it's often presented as a premium seafood option at restaurants. The fourth fish on our cancer risk list is king mackerel. Like swordfish, king mackerel is a large predatory fish that accumulates significant amounts of mercury throughout its lifetime. The FDA has placed king mackerel on its choices to avoid list for pregnant women and children, but seniors concerned about cancer risk would be wise to follow this advice as well. Beyond mercury, king mackerel and other large oily fish can concentrate other fat-soluble pollutants from ocean waters, including PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, and dioxins. These industrial chemicals have been linked to various cancers, particularly non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which becomes more common as we age. The problem with these toxins is that they're persistent. They remain in the body for years or even decades after exposure. A study from the Harvard School of Public Health found that high levels of PCBs were associated with a 36% increased risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in older adults. While king mackerel does contain beneficial omega-3 fatty acids, the potential risks from its contaminant load may outweigh these benefits, especially for seniors who are already at increased cancer risk due to age and other factors. The National Cancer Institute has highlighted the importance of minimizing exposure to environmental toxins as a cancer prevention strategy, particularly for older adults whose bodies may have accumulated decades of exposure to various carcinogens. It's worth noting that smaller mackerel varieties, such as Atlantic mackerel, typically contain much lower levels of mercury and other contaminants while still providing healthy omega-3s. This makes them a much better choice for seniors looking to maintain the health benefits of oily fish without the cancer risks associated with larger species like king mackerel. If you've been eating king mackerel regularly, consider replacing it with smaller fish varieties that offer similar nutritional benefits without the toxic burden. Your body will thank you, and you'll be taking an important step toward reducing your cancer risk. Now that we've covered the fish that could potentially increase your cancer risk, let's talk about the good news. There are several types of fish that not only pose minimal cancer risk, but may actually help prevent cancer through their unique nutritional properties. These fish can be powerful allies in your cancer prevention strategy, especially as you age and cancer risk naturally increases. Let's explore 4 fish that science suggests may help reduce cancer risk for seniors. First on our cancer-fighting list is wild-caught Alaskan salmon. Notice the specificity here, wild-caught and preferably from Alaskan waters. This is dramatically different from the farmed salmon we discussed earlier. Wild salmon contains an impressive array of nutrients that work together to potentially reduce cancer risk. First, it's one of the best sources of marine omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. These fatty acids have been shown to reduce inflammation, a key factor in cancer development. A large-scale study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that people with the highest levels of omega-3s in their blood had a 25% lower risk of dying from cancer compared to those with the lowest levels. Wild salmon is also an excellent source of vitamin D, which many seniors are deficient in. Research from the Harvard School of Public Health suggests that adequate vitamin D levels may reduce cancer risk by up to 30%. With particularly strong evidence for protective effects against colorectal cancer, one of the most common cancers affecting older adults. Additionally, wild salmon contains a powerful antioxidant called astaxanthin, which gives the fish its pink color. Astaxanthin has been shown in laboratory studies to inhibit cancer cell growth and reduce DNA damage from free radicals. For seniors whose cells have accumulated more oxidative damage over the years, this antioxidant protection can be particularly valuable. Wild salmon also provides high-quality protein, which is essential for maintaining muscle mass and immune function as we age. Strong muscles and a robust immune system are both important factors in cancer resilience. Many of my senior patients worry about the cost of wild salmon, which is typically more expensive than farmed varieties. If budget is a concern, canned wild Alaskan salmon is a more affordable option that still provides the cancer-fighting benefits. Just 2 servings of wild salmon per week could provide significant protection against cancer development. How could you incorporate wild salmon into your weekly meal plan? Perhaps a simple baked fillet with lemon and herbs, or salmon patties made with canned wild salmon. The second cancer-fighting fish is sardines. These small, oily fish might not be everyone's favorite, but from a cancer prevention perspective, they're nutritional powerhouses. Sardines are one of the few foods that are naturally high in vitamin D, which is crucial for seniors since our ability to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight decreases as we age. As mentioned earlier, vitamin D plays a significant role in cancer prevention. Research published in the Annals of Epidemiology found that adequate vitamin D levels were associated with lower incidence of several cancers, including colorectal, breast, and prostate cancers, all common in the senior population. Beyond vitamin D, sardines are rich in selenium, a mineral with potent anti-cancer properties. Scientific studies have demonstrated that selenium can help induce apoptosis, programmed cell death, in cancer cells, and may enhance DNA repair mechanisms, both critical factors in cancer prevention. The Journal of the National Cancer Institute published research suggesting that optimal selenium levels could reduce cancer risk by 15 to 25% in older adults. Another remarkable benefit of sardines is that you consume the entire fish, including the bones, which are softened during the canning process. These bones provide calcium and phosphorus, minerals that support bone health, but have also been studied for their potential cancer protective effects, particularly against colorectal cancer. The American Institute for Cancer Research has highlighted sardines as a recommended food for cancer prevention due to their unique nutritional profile. One particularly appealing aspect of sardines for seniors is their convenience and affordability. Canned sardines have a long shelf life, require no cooking, and are much more budget-friendly than many other types of seafood. This makes them an accessible cancer-fighting food, even for seniors on fixed incomes. To make sardines more palatable if you're not a fan of their strong flavor, try mixing them with other ingredients. Mash them with avocado and lemon juice, add them to a pasta sauce, or incorporate them into a white bean salad with plenty of herbs and olive oil. Just 2 to 3 servings of sardines weekly could provide significant cancer-protective benefits. Have you tried incorporating sardines into your diet? What's your favorite way to enjoy them? The third fish with potential cancer-fighting properties is anchovies. Like sardines, anchovies are small, oily fish that don't accumulate the high levels of environmental toxins found in larger predatory species. They're rich in selenium, which, as we've discussed, plays an important role in cancer prevention through its antioxidant functions and support of DNA repair mechanisms. Anchovies are also an excellent source of niacin, vitamin B3, which research has linked to protection against certain types of cancer, including skin cancer. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that niacin supplementation was associated with a 23% reduction in skin cancer recurrence in high-risk patients. For seniors who have had significant sun exposure throughout their lives, this could be particularly relevant. Another valuable nutrient found in anchovies is calcium. While we typically think of calcium as important for bone health, research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has suggested that adequate calcium intake may reduce the risk of colorectal cancer, the third most common cancer affecting older adults. The small bones in anchovies provide bioavailable calcium along with phosphorus, creating an ideal ratio for absorption. Anchovies also contain powerful peptides, protein fragments, that have been studied for their anti-inflammatory and potential anti-cancer properties. Research published in Marine Drugs found that certain peptides derived from anchovies demonstrated the ability to inhibit angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels that tumors need to grow and spread. Many people are uncertain about how to incorporate anchovies into their diet beyond pizza. Toppings. Anchovies can actually be a versatile ingredient that adds depth of flavor to many dishes without tasting fishy when used properly. They can be mashed into a paste and added to salad dressings, blended into pasta sauces, or used to enhance the flavor of roasted vegetables. When anchovies are cooked, their strong flavor mellows and adds a savory umami quality that many people enjoy, even if they don't like anchovies on their own. For seniors concerned about sodium intake, look for low-sodium anchovy options, or rinse regular anchovies before using them to reduce the salt content. Just a small amount of anchovies a few times a week could contribute to your cancer prevention strategy while adding interesting flavors to your meals. The fourth fish with promising cancer-fighting potential is herring. This oily fish is particularly popular in European cuisines, but is less commonly consumed in the United States, despite its impressive nutritional profile. Herring is exceptionally rich in omega-3 fatty acids, containing even more than salmon in some cases. As we've discussed, these fatty acids help combat inflammation, which is a key driver of cancer development, especially in aging bodies. Research published in Prostaglandins, Leukotrienes, and Essential Fatty Acids demonstrated that the specific omega-3s found in herring can help suppress nuclear factor kappa B, NFQB, a protein complex that plays a critical role in regulating inflammation and has been implicated in various cancers. Herring is also an excellent source of vitamin D, providing nearly 100% of the recommended daily intake in a single serving. This is particularly important for seniors, since vitamin D deficiency is common in older adults and has been linked to increased cancer risk. A meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Cancer found that higher blood levels of vitamin D were associated with lower colorectal cancer risk, with a 30% risk reduction in those with the highest levels, compared to those with the lowest. Another standout nutrient in herring is coenzyme Q10, CoQ10, an antioxidant that helps protect cells from oxidative damage. CoQ10 levels naturally decline with age, making dietary sources increasingly important for seniors. Some research suggests that CoQ10 may help protect against cancer by supporting cellular energy production and preventing DNA damage. The Journal of Clinical Biochemistry and Nutrition published studies indicating that CoQ10 supplementation might reduce the side effects of conventional cancer treatments and potentially enhance their effectiveness. Herring is available in various forms, including fresh, frozen, smoked, and pickled. For the most cancer-protective benefits, fresh or frozen herring is preferable, as smoking and pickling processes can introduce compounds that may be less beneficial for cancer prevention. However, even processed forms still provide valuable nutrients. If you're new to herring, you might start with kippered, lightly smoked herring on whole grain toast, or try Baltic-style herring in wine sauce, which has a milder flavor than some other preparations. Fresh herring can be grilled or baked similar to mackerel or sardines. Including herring in your diet once or twice a week could be a delicious way to enhance your cancer-fighting nutritional strategy. Now that we've explored both the potentially harmful and beneficial fish choices, let's discuss practical strategies for incorporating the right fish into your diet in ways that maximize cancer protection while minimizing risk. First, frequency matters. Even with the healthiest fish options, variety in your diet is still important. Aim for 2 to 3 servings of the cancer-fighting fish we discussed each week, rather than eating the same type repeatedly. This helps ensure you're getting a range of beneficial nutrients while minimizing exposure to any single source of contaminants. Second, preparation method can significantly impact the cancer-fighting potential of fish. Grilling fish at very high temperatures until charred can create heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, compounds that have been linked to cancer in laboratory studies. Gentler cooking methods like poaching, steaming, baking, or sautéing are preferable for maximizing health benefits. If you do grill fish, marinating it first in olive oil, citrus, and herbs can significantly reduce the formation of harmful compounds. Third, consider the source of your fish. Wherever possible, choose wild-caught options over farmed varieties, particularly for salmon. If budget constraints make wild-caught fish challenging to afford regularly, prioritize smaller fish species like sardines, anchovies, and herring, which are typically more affordable and contain fewer contaminants regardless of how they're sourced. Fourth, be mindful of portion sizes. The recommended serving of fish is about 3 to 4 ounces, roughly the size of a deck of cards. Larger portions don't necessarily provide additional cancer protection, but could potentially increase exposure to any contaminants present. Fifth, consider supplementation wisely. If incorporating these cancer-fighting fish into your diet regularly is difficult, fish oil supplements can provide some of the omega-3 benefits. However, they won't contain all the beneficial compounds found in whole fish. If you opt for supplements, choose those that have been molecularly distilled to remove potential contaminants and have been tested by third-party organizations for purity. Finally, remember that no single food, including fish, can provide complete cancer protection. The cancer-fighting fish we've discussed should be part of a broader dietary pattern, rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and other plant foods. The American Institute for Cancer Research recommends that plant foods cover at least 2/3 of your plate at meals, with animal proteins like fish making up the remaining portion. This balanced approach provides the widest spectrum of cancer-protective compounds. Let's also address some common questions that my senior patients often ask about fish consumption and cancer risk. One frequent question is, if I've been eating the higher-risk fish for years, have I already done irreversible damage? The encouraging answer is that the body has remarkable capacity for healing when given the right support. By switching to healthier fish options now, you're allowing your body's natural detoxification processes to begin clearing accumulated toxins. Additionally, the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds in the cancer-fighting fish can help repair cellular damage that may have occurred. Another common question is, what about shellfish like shrimp and lobster? While we focused on finfish in this video, shellfish generally fall into a middle category. They typically don't accumulate as many contaminants as large predatory fish, but they may not offer the same level of cancer-protective nutrients as fatty fish rich in omega-3s. Enjoy shellfish in moderation as part of a varied diet. Many seniors also ask, should I avoid all fish if I'm concerned about cancer? Based on the scientific evidence, completely eliminating fish would mean missing out on important cancer-protective nutrients that are difficult to obtain from other food sources. A more balanced approach is to choose the right types of fish and prepare them healthfully. Some patients wonder, what if I already have cancer or am a cancer survivor? In these cases, the anti-inflammatory properties of the cancer-fighting fish we've discussed may be particularly beneficial. Many oncologists recommend diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids for cancer patients and survivors, as these may help manage inflammation and potentially reduce the risk of recurrence. However, always consult with your healthcare team about specific dietary recommendations for your situation. Finally, a question I hear frequently is, are there any specific fish recommendations for different types of cancer? While research in this area is ongoing, some studies suggest that the omega-3s found in fatty fish may be particularly protective against hormone-sensitive cancers like breast and prostate cancer, as well as digestive system cancers like colorectal cancer. However, the general recommendations for cancer-fighting fish apply broadly to cancer prevention regardless of type. Now, let's look at some practical tips for purchasing and storing fish to maximize their cancer-fighting potential while ensuring safety. When buying fresh fish, use your senses. Look for clear, bright eyes and shiny, firm flesh that springs back when touched. The fish should smell fresh and clean like the ocean, not fishy or ammonia-like. For frozen fish, ensure packages are frozen solid with no signs of freezer burn or ice crystals, which could indicate thawing and refreezing. When possible, purchase fish from reputable fishmongers who can tell you where and when the fish was caught. Farmers markets with seafood vendors often provide more information about sourcing than typical grocery stores. For canned fish like sardines, anchovies, and wild salmon, look for brands that use minimal additives and preferably pack their fish in olive oil or water rather than vegetable oils, which can be high in inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. Check labels for BPA-free cans, as this industrial chemical has been linked to various health concerns, including possible cancer risk. Proper storage is crucial for maintaining fish quality and safety. Fresh fish should be stored in the coldest part of your refrigerator and used within 1 to 2 days of purchase. If you won't use it within that time frame, freeze it promptly. When freezing fish, wrap it tightly in moisture-proof packaging to prevent freezer burn. Properly frozen fish can maintain good quality for 3 to 6 months depending on the type. For seniors who live alone or Cook for just 1 or 2 people. Consider portion control when freezing fish. Wrap individual servings separately so you can thaw only what you need. This practice not only reduces waste, but also minimizes the temptation to eat larger portions than recommended. When thawing frozen fish, do so slowly in the refrigerator, rather than at room temperature, to maintain safety and quality. If you need to thaw fish quickly, place it in a sealed plastic bag and immerse in cold water, changing the water every 30 minutes until thawed. Never thaw fish at room temperature, which can allow bacterial growth and degradation of those valuable omega-3 fatty acids we want to preserve for their cancer-fighting properties. Let's finish our discussion with some simple, delicious ways to incorporate the cancer-fighting fish into your weekly meal plan. These recipes are specifically designed to be easy for seniors to prepare, require minimal ingredients, and maximize the cancer-protective compounds in the fish. For wild salmon, try this simple one-pan dinner. Place a wild salmon fillet on a baking sheet. Surround it with your favorite vegetables like broccoli, bell peppers, and cherry tomatoes. Drizzle everything with olive oil. Sprinkle with herbs like dill or rosemary, and bake at 375 degrees for about 15 minutes until the salmon flakes easily. The entire meal cooks together, minimizing cleanup and effort. For sardines, a Mediterranean-inspired approach works wonderfully. Toss canned sardines with cooked white beans, chopped parsley, red onion, and a dressing of lemon juice and olive oil. This protein-rich salad can be made ahead and stored in the refrigerator for a quick lunch option that actually improves in flavor after a day or 2. Anchovies can add tremendous flavor to pasta dishes without tasting fishy. Try this simple pasta sauce. In a skillet, warm olive oil with a few anchovy fillets, minced garlic, and red pepper flakes. Cook until the anchovies dissolve into the oil, then toss with cooked whole grain pasta and a handful of fresh arugula or spinach. The anchovies create a rich, savory flavor base that even people who think they don't like anchovies often enjoy. For herring, a Scandinavian-inspired open-faced sandwich is both traditional and delicious. Top whole grain bread with a layer of cream cheese or avocado, sliced cucumber, and pieces of kippered herring. Finish with a sprinkle of fresh dill and a squeeze of lemon. This makes a satisfying breakfast or lunch that's rich in cancer-fighting nutrients. These meal ideas are just starting points. I encourage you to experiment with these cancer-fighting fish in ways that appeal to your taste preferences. The most cancer-protective diet is one that you enjoy and can maintain consistently. Remember that adding herbs and spices to your fish dishes not only enhances flavor, but can provide additional cancer-fighting compounds. Turmeric, garlic, ginger, and rosemary are particularly noted for their potential anti-cancer properties and pair beautifully with fish. Thank you so much for staying with me throughout this important discussion about fish and cancer risk for seniors. We've covered a lot of ground today, from identifying the 4 fish that might increase cancer risk, farmed salmon, tilapia, swordfish, and king mackerel, to exploring 4 powerful cancer-fighting options: wild-caught salmon, sardines, anchovies, and herring. Remember, the choices you make daily, including which fish end up on your plate, can significantly impact your cancer risk as you age. By choosing the right fish and preparing them in healthy ways, you're taking a proactive step toward cancer prevention that complements other healthy lifestyle choices. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone you care about who might benefit from this knowledge. Every share could potentially help another senior make better choices for their health. And if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our videos on cancer prevention and healthy aging. Your journey toward optimal health matters to me, and I'm committed to bringing you the information you need to make informed decisions. Remember, it's never too late to make positive changes for your health. Even small adjustments to your diet today can have meaningful impacts on your cancer risk tomorrow. Stay well, stay informed, and know that you have the power to influence your health destiny through the choices you make each day. I'll see you in our next video, where we'll continue exploring simple, effective ways to protect your health and enhance your quality of life in your golden years.